welcome to another episode of A to Y. Yes, I am in a different location once again, and yes, I'm only making a video for the channel because I have to for a project. But that doesn't change the fact that the sign is behind me and I'm trying to teach people about the gospel. And today I have a lesson from the Old Testament, one of my favorite characters of the entire Bible, Gideon. And today I'm going to be telling a fast-paced version. I got to get through it. This is for our project, so I have guidelines I got to follow. But I think the lessons found in the story are kind of overlooked sometimes, and there's actually a lot of complexities that people don't talk about. And I'm going to teach about those complexities because I thought about it when watching one of my favorite movies of all time, The Dark Knight. And in The Dark Knight, there's a quote, I know you've seen it everywhere, you either die the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And Gideon did that to a T. He could have died the hero, freeing the people from their foreign oppressors, but instead his own actions that disobeyed God and his commandments led to him actually dying a villain and leading the people into wrongdoing through generations of his sons.
So, what happened? How did this man free his people from foreign oppression and getting pillaged all the time and worshiping foreign gods to worshiping foreign gods again and being oppressed again? Like, what happened?
Well, I'm going to tell you. So, Gideon's story doesn't start with the fleece like a lot of people think. He actually starts with him working but being visited by an angel. And this angel tells him that he's going to be a military leader and he's going to free the people of Israel. But he's astounded and he asks for proof. And so he goes and makes an offering and brings it to the angel, and the angel accepts it. And with this, he knows that it truly is an angel of God, and he begins to change his life and follow what God is calling him to do from that day. So he was told by the angel to go destroy a local altar to Baal. And he does this, and when he does, he's actually called Jerub Baal, and that means to contend with Baal. If that pronunciation is wrong, I'm sorry, I haven't taken Hebrew yet. But you can see here, he does this, and he strikes down the altar, and they rename him, and that's pretty cool to me. I really wish I was named something like to contend with a foreign false god in service of the one true God. But alas, I'm just Addison. Anyway, we see here that he's called to do this, and he does it. And he then does the fleece, and then does the battle where he takes the 300 men called by God, so that God can show that it was him who defeats the foreign oppressors and not Israel. Because if he had taken the original army that was like 10,000, they would have thought they saved themselves. When in reality, it's only through God that they were able to save themselves from these foreign oppressors. So Gideon, after doing the miracle of the fleece, gathers men, trims this number down to 300, and then using torches and pots and following the lessons that God told him to do, he rids the country of these Midianites and other foreign peoples that were oppressing the Israelites and pillaging the farmlands. And then he goes on and he settles down with his many wives and his concubine. Yes, this happens a lot with men, with male leaders in the Bible. It's absurd. You think one of them would have caught on. Anyway, he settles down and Israel has 40 years of peace. But then the cycle continues where they fall back to foreign gods. So what happened? He freed them from the oppressors. He destroyed the altars and turned them back to Yahweh. How is it that the cycle just repeated upon his death? Well, that's because the actions he did after following what God told him to do. You see, when you follow God, you're going to get powered up. When you're doing what he's calling you to do, you will receive powers. And maybe not sane powers like this. Dude, did you fall asleep while editing? Hey, wake up! Dude, what the heck? Hey, maybe if you actually got your projects done on time, you would be a little more energetic and able to focus. Alright, I'm energetic and able to focus enough, okay? I don't need to get judged by the likes of you, okay? I'll just delete you. I can judge you all you want. What are you going to do, delete me? You don't have time to reshoot this, so you're just going to have to deal. Now, how about you wake up, get your life together, and get this all under wraps and done, okay? Okay, all right. You're right. I don't have time to do this. You want to just shoot it again? Yeah, let's just shoot it again. All right, we'll shoot again.
It's not going to be Super Saiyan cool like that. But you will be empowered, and you will be able to worship him and do what he's calling you to do, and he will equip you like he equipped Gideon to conquer the armies. But there are other things going on here. So after defeating the army, he's chasing down these leaders, and you can see this turn start.
Judges chapter 8, verses 19 through 21. He's talking to these foreign leaders, and he looks at his son and tells him to kill him. Now his son presents the fear that Gideon had when he's first told to go destroy the altars in his original home village. And he doesn't do it, and instead Gideon just takes the sword and kills these leaders. And then he takes the jewelry and that was on the kings and their camels. And he has his men do this as they're getting rid of these armies in Israel. And as he's returning back to his home village, he stops at villages that he asked for aid for when he was chasing down these foreign rulers with his army. And they refused him, thinking that it was impossible. He wasn't actually going to be able to take these 300 men and stop these foreign oppressors. But when he comes back, probably with the heads of the kings, he shows them, and he had warned them that he was going to do this. He then kills the leaders and also whips them with barbs. And then he returns to his village, and he makes an ephod, or a breastplate, out of the spoils of war that he had taken. And the Jewish people actually start to worship this breastplate. You see, in the end, Gideon did great things through the things that God equipped him to do. But he ended up becoming the very thing he swore to destroy. Kind of like that famous scene in Revenge of the Sith where Obi-Wan is in such heartbreak as Anakin was supposed to be the chosen one trying to bring the Force back to balance. Gideon was the one who's supposed to bring Israel back into balance, back into worshiping Yahweh. But instead, he just leads them right back into darkness after the 40 years of peace by giving them a false altar to worship and oppressing the people instead of just freeing them from the oppressors. It comes full circle, and he became the very thing that he was trying to rid Israel of. So what lesson do we derive from this? What do we learn? Well, we learn that God will equip you to do the things that he calls you to do. And you'll be able to do amazing things when you're following God's will. But you will also be equally capable of destroying everything that God used you to create. And you'll be just as capable of ruining the lives that you saved through God's help. So in the end, you always have to make sure that your eyes are turned toward God and his will for your life. Otherwise, you too can start a cycle of destruction. That's been it for this episode of A to Y, and I'll see you guys next time.